One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They're telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take them chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free. Free.
They're back.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up?
What up, though?
What up, everybody? Another 7 days done went by and we doing this once again. I'm Archbishop. We got Mike Ball and we got Aaron Olinger. And this is the Dominant Effect. So it's been a lot going on these past 7 days. And hold on, let me turn this down just a hair.
And it's a whole different year now, too.
Yeah, it's been a lot going on these past 7 days. So we're gonna jump into a little bit of everything here tonight, because what we're talking about tonight kind of encapsulate a lot of stuff that could possibly go on during this time. But before we go there, just like always, we're gonna go around the table and see how everybody's doing this this New Year's Day. Happy New Year's, everybody. And we're gonna start 25 like we did 24 with a bang. So we're gonna go around the table and see how everybody been doing this week. So go ahead, Aaron. What you got, brother?
I'm still struggling to get over some virus, man. So I haven't really done nothing, seeing that there was nothing for me to do over the Christmas holidays. I just stayed home and trying to get over this illness so I can get productive going into this new year. I'll stop there.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I've heard like all the people I know that are sick right now, it's not just one person, it's the entire fucking household too. You know what I mean? That's totally lame. It sucks. I know everyone's kind of feeling it right now in that regard. So I'm hopefully you feel better. Um, for me, luckily, not sick, right? Knock on wood. But it was in a very eventful New Year's, at least over here. We popped off like I don't know, $1,500 worth of fireworks last night. Definitely ate good, drank some good drinks, and then I was shooting off some rounds last night. Pop, 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 pop. You know, standard, the standard for the South. It's standard. But yeah, how about you, AB?
Well, it was busy. Like you said, you got Christmas holiday, New Year's
Mhm.
holidays. Of course, work was slammed. Um, I got out a little bit yesterday. Went out and hung out with some of the fellas and played a little poker and got in their pockets a little bit.
Shit,
And
that's what I'm talking about.
like I said, it was a good. I mean, it was a good little New Year's. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm in Florida and my family's in Ohio, so I wasn't able to be with them. But um, they all the ones that's listening right now. I mean, of course, you wish I wish I was there, but I'll be back up that way soon. Um, but that was about it. That was about it. And then, like I said, I've been working on a few things, um, trying to get some stuff in order, and you know that way we can hit 25 on a good note, and hopefully keep it flowing for the remainder of the year.
That's
So
right.
that's about what I got.
Well, speaking on that, because you have been working a lot on behind the scenes on some stuff. So, what about we talk about real quick before we get into the whole Homestead movie? Let's go ahead and bring up about what you have done that I just found out today, actually, about your line that you made.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, um, what we did was we've been talking, forever about doing the merchandise and the different stuff that we was going to do with the Diamond Effect. Um, but I got with a company, and we finally put it all together. We actually got a full .com, full domain, all of that. So
Mm,
um, we have right now, we have a store, and then you can go on the Dominant Effect Podcast.com, and got the information below. We got a lot of stuff that's on there, um, and we're gonna kind of switch it up a little bit because there's more than just merchandise that's on there.
right.
Um, we're gonna have merchandise, of course, but we're all gonna also do subscriptions, and with those subscriptions, you can go on and not only be able to get merchandise that you see on there, but we're also going to have merchandise on there that only being a subscriber you're able to get a hold of. Some stuff that you won't see on the first couple of pages, and we're also going to start doing different video clips, stuff like that, with our subscribers. That say, for instance, we're doing a show, and there's certain stuff that of course, that YouTube does not want us to talk about. Um, but we're going to have it on there. So
Right.
the stuff that we're talking about on here, and you want to be able to get a little bit more information, more stuff that that YouTube will not allow us to do, you can go on here and actually get that information. Um, and we're going to be putting a lot of different stuff on there. Like I said, we got the Diamond Effect on there right now. We're going to have some stuff on there for Mike Ball. We're going to have some stuff on there for all three of us that's on here. And we're going to be steady adding to the collection as the weeks go on. So it's not just going to be just this stuff. It's going to be a big variety of stuff. Me and one of the moderators on here, Cinderella, she's done her thing on here. Did a lot of work on there. Matter of fact, since we're talking about Cinderella, I seen her last week. She came down to Tampa.
Nice.
Having an anniversary down here on the MC scene, and she bought me a gift. And these are, you seen these Ray-Ban Meta glasses?
Yes.
Man, I did not realize that these glasses did so much. And she bought me a pair. These, I'm gonna tell you what, these are some really good glasses. I love these damn things. You know what I mean? You can answer the phone on them. You can I mean, you can go on here and ask Meta questions and they gonna answer you. I mean, it's great.
Right.
Kind of like a whole encapsulated system here. But I told her I was gonna put a post on Facebook about it, but I figured I'd do it on the show, make it even better.
Hell yeah. Ray-Bans are amazing, dude. Actually, my favorite glasses.
Yeah, so thank you. You know, what I mean, you know, you're my favorite. Uh, I appreciate the gift, and I appreciate all the hard work that you've done, help getting this store together, and helping us as a whole. I have a small little video that we got dealing with the new Diamond Effect store. Also, if you go on the store, you put the promo code in the Diamond Effect, you get a 10% discount. We also do military discount. And if you're a subscriber and go on, then you actually get a better discount than what they get on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
like
about.
I said, along with you get access to stuff that you wouldn't see on the original thing. So let me hit this right quick and just show you before we go any further.
Are you ready?
Now that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, so that's what we got on there. So like I said, we go on there www.thedominanteffectpodcast.com. Go on there, check it out. It just started. We did you know how it goes through with the countdown to it opens. It officially opened up at 8 p.m. So
Nice.
so right now it's active and going on. So go on there, check it out, and support the show.
That's right.
So so this week we're going to talk about you know, we're always talking about different stuff that could go on at any given time. And with the state of the world right now, it's a lot of stuff that's going on that, you know, anything can go on at any particular time. And a lot of stuff we've been trying to warn people about, you know, all last year about different things that was going on. And so there was a movie that just came out Christmas called The Homestead. And this movie is, when you watch it, it makes you really pay attention to the state of the world right now, different and the situations and the vulnerabilities that our country has, as well as different countries around the world. I'm going to play a small clip about it, but I know Aaron wanted to talk about the actual studios that's behind this. It's called Angel Studios. I think they've done like 6 movies here since like 21.
Wow.
And they're more of a religious based studio company, but they've put out a lot of good, you know, those 6 movies that they put out has actually been really good. This particular movie here, like I said, it came out on Christmas, but not only had they come up with this movie, but they also have a series that's getting ready to come out right after this, already done. So it kind of tells you, you know, the gravitation of this movie. Is like, this movie is so good to the point that they've already made a series to go right after this movie. So Aaron, go ahead and tell them a little bit about Angel Studios, and then we're going to jump into the trailer to kind of give everybody an idea as to what this movie's about. and then we're gonna jump in from there.
Okay, they're a small movie studio. They have about 100 employees that they employ. They had 5 founders. One guy, he's kind of like an outsider. Number 4 are they must be all brothers or cousins because they all have the same last name. Everything is faith-based movies, and a lot of times they're very emotional. Seeing that they're an independent media company, they don't have to go by the political agenda that's going on in the news, whatever, and they're not getting no money from any political parties that they have to worry about. Are they coming within confines of what those people want to see? So they basically got a free hand to put out material and see people's reaction. I mean, one of the movies they made is called The Chosen. Great movie. But for those of you that went to the theaters back in July, around July 4th, was The Sounds of Freedom. And it's basically about a guy that goes and tries to free his daughter from enslavement, where they was going to traffic her and stuff in Africa. And he ended up freeing a bunch of children at the same time. It's a very emotional movie. But they're coming out with excellent products for being around just in such a short time. But the movie Homestead itself is based on the first 30 days after the United States gets attacked by nuclear weapons, and the power grid itself is taken down by the Soviet Union. And whether people realize it or not, all the game simulations, including a recent simulation run with AI, clearly states that once our power grid goes down, 90% of the US population is going to die within 6 to 18 months. I mean, in the movie, they have a quote where a lady says early on that technology is our God and we worship at the altar of convenience. We are so dependent on technology that if we lose it, the majority of people are not going to be able to make it. So I'm gonna stop there for right now, Bishop, and let you go ahead and get started with the clip.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hit one right quick. But to answer this question here for Barbara, yes, they do video record. They video record and they take still pictures. So just to answer your question there. But let's see here. Here's a small trailer just to kind of get everybody that, if you haven't seen it yet, just kind of get you a little bit into what it is that we're getting ready to talk about here.
Man, that looks fantastic.
Yeah. So how this movie starts is there was a ship that was in the Pacific that was that carried a nuclear device in it, and it exploded 15 miles outside the California coast. Nobody knew it was coming. This was on the movie they had. I don't know whether they were Chinese, North Korean, Mandarin. I have no idea, but it had Mandarin writing on the device. So it doesn't really go into the whole detail as to exactly what their ethnicity was, but being the fact that it was Mandarin writing on the device kind of leads you more into that direction. But so after this device goes out, of course, you have thousands of people that are injured or unalive, and that also sets off an EMP that shuts down the power grid and everything else. So now you have this hysteria going on. People trying to get out of town. People trying to grab everything that they can grab, and to be able to try to hunker down and survive as long as they can, because they basically waiting on FEMA to come through or whatnot. But there's it shows this in an aspect of where you have different families going to this one location and what they had to do in order to get to that location from the beginning. One of the things that they all did was that they had prepped before this stuff had went on. So they had a lot of stuff already gathered. So when it actually happened, they had, you know, the supplies, you know, to be able to grab, you know, the bug out bag and be able to take off and get to this location. But, you know, it's easier to have all this stuff together as opposed to when something actually goes down
Trying to
and
figure it out.
and having to actually do it, you know.
Yeah,
So
having to and preparing yourself is two different things at that time. Yeah.
right, exactly. So we're gonna I know Aaron got a bunch of stuff that he's gonna talk about this, but I'm gonna hit this one little quick one here. Kind of shows the right after this took place and the first parts of it. Like, what's the first part that starts to happen?
So the question I have on this real quick, because I know Aaron's going to get into it here in a minute, is I can tell that obviously it's in that hypothetical of the movie. Yes, that's made up, right? The explosion or the, you know, whatever. But would you say that the actions and how many supplies they actually took and had is realistic? You know, is it portraying realism in that aspect where, like, hey, these guys in the movie, they only have enough water for 3-4 days to be real, but they're stretching that out for, you know, blah blah blah. Like, did it look like they really had their, like, knowledge in that?
Okay. Now, I want to say this first. The movie is basically a deep dive into the emotions of survival, sacrifice, and the hope that people will have. The attack was set up off on using recreational boats. A lot of the boats come in and out of Florida Harbor, New York, LA. They don't get checked by Coast Guard, every boat coming in and out. And it was a coordinated attack on the east and west coast. And they used those recreational craft to smuggle tactical nukes in. They hit both the east and west coast at the same time. And then the Soviets did something that brought down the power grid throughout the United States. So they used terrorist proxies to smuggle the nukes as close as they could to shore. If any boat pulled them over, they detonated right away. They didn't play around. So, and that to me was a realistic vulnerability for us. We don't check every boat that comes in. I mean, we got drones flying in here unchecked. We've got spy balloons. We've got boats coming in and out. And now there's rumors of possibility of suitcase and backpack nukes that could be in here right now that they're trying to find. So we definitely have vulnerabilities. And if we get attacked from within, we have nobody to attack. No country is going to be crazy enough to attack us outright, because the retaliation from us would destroy a country. But if they can get us to implode from within, attack us, shut down the power grid, and then we will start to attack each other just for resources. They can just sit back and watch the aftermath and come in and mop up whatever's left. But that's basically how the movie got going, was they exploited a vulnerability. Now, what they also showed in the movie was that when the cell towers started getting spotty at best on reception, people couldn't hardly talk to each other. Voices were going in and out, and sometimes the cell phones wouldn't work at all. Most cell phone towers has a 3-day power backup. So if that cell phone tower is still active and you cannot get a voice call through, like during 9/11, go to your text messages and your what do you call those other kind of messages that you send? You
Direct
can
messages?
text emails.
Oh, emails.
Yeah, text messages and emails will still go through, even though voice calls may not. So always know that you still have that possibility to get a message through to somebody. Now, fortunately for everybody in the movie, everybody knew where the rally point was, and they knew it was that Millionaire's Place. But they all got an invite, and they were selected based upon their skill sets. I mean, nobody except for maybe the woman with the kids that picked a Tesla to be the bug out vehicle. She happened to be the sister of the wife, so she got to come with her kids just for a family relationship. But anybody else that came, if you got on that property, you had skill sets to contribute. The survival in that time period, you're going to earn it day by day. It won't be automatic. I can tell you, you can come and be at my compound, but I can't give you the gift of survival. You're going to have to earn it day by day by contributing. So you had one group, and it was ex-Green Beret guy, ex-Special Forces. He made one phone call, and his people were mobilized immediately. Everybody had their bug out bags already hanging up. Everybody was ready to go at the flip of a switch. And they met up. They tried to stop and do a little supply run. And Bishop, if you don't mind running that clip, I'd like to show them what the supply run looked like.
Oh, you talking about going to the grocery store and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see what happens, right? Initially, what happens? Everybody floods the stores, try to grab and take everything you can possibly take.
And they're not paying for nothing.
No, of course not.
Exactly. But if you would be just a little proactive and get this stuff ahead of time, you wouldn't have to be in those crowds searching and scrounging around for, whatever's left. Now I know when she went in there, she didn't really get a whole lot out of there at all,
No.
because it's already been looted. I mean, everybody going in grabbing whatever. You seen the one scene where somebody was running through with a basket and they start taking stuff out of her basket. You know what I mean? Because you got something that I need and I'm going to take it. That's the mind frame that goes on. You remember, Mike, I know Aaron what is doing that time when we talked about what would happen if the power grid dropped.
Yep.
Matter of fact, Aaron was with us. If the power grid dropped, what would happen?
I think that was his first show.
Mm-hmm. What would happen? And the fact that within the first, the first 59 days that you would lose so many people during that time, because people would starve to death. They would kill each other. I mean, it was like an ongoing list of different stuff that would go on, because you go from being, happy-go-lucky person to now you're in survival mode. So you're going to do anything and everything possible to survive, you know what I mean? And to, have stuff for your family, to where you are, I mean, you're not going to be comfortable, but at least you're not going to starve to death.
Right. It's better.
Right. But you also got to take into consideration, though, is that why would you wait to the last minute to do something when a lot of this stuff is hidden in plain sight? You see what's going on. Even if you don't watch the news, you hear from somebody else that have watched the news, that have talked about it. You see the stuff that's going on. Now, mind you, you're not going to get a whole lot out of the news anyway, because they're only going to talk about certain parts of it anyway.
Nope, their narrative.
But if you go anywhere else, I mean, even the little news break that flashes up on your phone tells you more stuff than what you're going to get on CNN and Fox News and NBC. You're going to see more stuff on a news break than you would anywhere else. But this goes along with people ignoring the signs that's being sent, waiting till the last minute. Now you're in panic mode. Now you're running around. Okay. So, like the grocery store, that's just part of it, So, Aaron,
Right.
So other than the grocery store, what else is next?
Well, let me add what the lady was able to get when she went in the grocery store. She got albuterol. That's the inhalers for the people with asthma. Her youngest child had asthma real bad, and she didn't want to be faced with him having an attack and not having some albuterol. So that's the one thing she was able to get. Now, we already saw panic and fighting that already started. When people become desperate, they're going to do desperate acts. And the team was already forming. This guy already's got some of his teammates showing up. you could tell that they've been in the thick together. They work well together. They're very professional, and there's some serious trigger pullers. They're not scared to pull the trigger on somebody. So wherever they went and fought, they've got experience under their belt. And if it wasn't for that special ops commander calling his one cat off that jabbed the guy in the face with the AR barrel, he was about to kill him right there, and wouldn't have hesitated. But what I liked about it was they were able to hit the roadways in under 10 minutes to start to get to head to the location. If you can get on the road within 30 minutes or less, you have a chance of making it past the traffic and making it to where you're going to go. But you cannot afford for your bug out location to be more than 2 hours away. If you're going to go 8 hours or 10 hours to get to a bug out location, you'll never make it. There'd be too many towns that would be jammed up with roadways, and you got no shot. If you can get on the roads early and move to your location, if it's 2 hours or less, you got a chance of getting there. If it's beyond that, I say you're not going to make it. So you want to make sure that bug out location's within a 2 hours drive or less. And on the second clip you show where the woman was in the Tesla, what they didn't show in that scene was when she got into the car, she almost had a nervous breakdown. If she got the dog in, she sat down and she started shaking. I mean, she may have had her husband tell her, you're going to go to this location where your sister is. And she probably laughed about it and joked about it. But now that reality is hit and that emotion is hit, she almost couldn't start the car. And those kids are dependent upon her to get them to safety. And she's standing there shaking and getting all emotional. So a lot of people will say they're going to do something and how they're going to react. But until you're in that situation, you really don't know until you're put to the test. And you could just tell she wasn't mentally prepared for the reality of what she was having to face in that moment. Now, later in the film, she pulls into a place because the SUV, which was a Tesla, it's an electric vehicle, it was running out of power. She pulls into a countryside market. Now, in the city, there's probably plenty of places that you can charge your car up. But when you go out into the sticks, there's nowhere. So to pick a Tesla as your bug out vehicle, that was ridiculous to me. And
Well,
she
yeah, I
ended
mean,
up getting
I don't know where a single Tesla station is anywhere in the state. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm sure they are in the big cities and stuff, but I'm out here where none of that's available. That's stupid.
You know what? Let me
And
ask you this,
see-
Aaron. Let me ask you this
Go
right
ahead.
quick before you go any further. Now, she did have that Tesla, and that Tesla has some little new mode on it where it was like some kind of biohazard thing where it sealed the car up to where they wouldn't able to get anything from the outside in or whatever. But let me ask you this. If you had a nuclear device that went off, of course, with the nuclear device comes with an EMP, automatic, comes with it. So my question is, how were you able to ride around in a Tesla or any new car after EMP? Isn't that stuff supposed to be shut down already?
It should have shut down because an EMP is going to shut down your computer chips in your car, and it's going to take out your solenoid. So those are the two things that's going to go. It all depended upon how far she was away. Maybe the EMP didn't reach far enough inland to where she was at. And maybe that's the only reason why. And there have been many cars that was on the highway trying to get out of town that should have all been shut down. That was too close to that bomb going off. Seeing that they was using tactical nukes and not strategic nukes, that's the only way I can explain it. Was the EMP field wasn't as large at what they had to deal with. They just wanted to get the kill ratio and shut down the east and west coast, and especially the shipping ports that they was trying to blow them up so we couldn't use them. So that's the only way that I can explain that at this time.
Okay. So
But
we're gonna fast forward just a little bit. Okay, so
Got no
so you got
friendship.
these families, and they're in different locations, and they're all heading to this homestead. Okay, so once they get there, of course, they've this homestead consists of the owner of the homestead, his family, and also people that he invited there, which he had, some family there, a couple friends there, but he also had like a special forces unit there for security and stuff like that. And along with that security, they were able to bring their families there as well. Excuse me. So in a situation like that, when you have an established community, now people are going to come from the woodworks trying to get into that particular area because they know that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, everything's gated up or whatever. You got guards all over the place. So they know if you got all these guards and gates and everything else, they know that you got something behind that gate that you're protected. So my question to you is, Aaron, is what is the importance of having that community or being able to, of like-minded people or people that were able to do different tasks in order to, like, if something happens like that, that you're able to come together and be able to be self-sufficient outside of the grid or anything like that. So what's the importance of having that type of community?
To survive the disaster, come together as a team and survive the disaster until COG which is continuity of government, comes back into play, and things could go back to being almost what it was. It would never go back to being the same, but you could get slightly close to the government coming back in, taking over and getting through things. Because in that exact moment, you're dealing with what they call WROL, without rule of law. It's man, everyone against everyone and God against all. I mean, the people that can mob up the quickest have the better chance of making it, because the skills that you have to contribute and then the people you surround yourself with is what's going to give you your best chance to get through a situation. If you try to be Lone Wolf McQuaid or Rambo out here, you're not going to last no length of time. Anyone that's ever played paintball before, that's walked out on the paintball field and thought they was going to command the whole thing without teamwork going on, you might last 2 or 3 minutes and then somebody's done shot you off the field for thinking you can be Rambo. It's all about teamwork. Everybody contributes. I mean, the way they had that place set up, he had orchards, he had grapevines, he had canned food and freeze-dried food. They had the ability to can their own stuff. They had livestock. They had fields that they was growing food in. They had grain and grain silos and different things. And they also had a fully stocked fish pond. So, I mean, they had the best that millionaire guy could put together. And all he needed was a team of people that could run it. They even had a full equipped med bed type thing, to where he had doctors and nurses for people that would get hurt. The only thing he didn't have that I saw, and I talked to you about it, was grief counselors. And you asked me, why would they need that? And I'm like, sooner or later, people are going to get killed. People are going to die. People may have to shoot someone, and then they got to deal with the aftermath in their mind. And if they're not that type of person that can handle that because of their faith-based feelings or whatever, that would be a lot for a person to carry. And you need someone that you can talk to that can try to walk you through that, because in that type of situation, mental health is going to be key to keeping that group primed and keeping them together. Because if they start falling out with each other over stupid stuff, then it just erodes the whole group. The loyalty and the teamwork and the camaraderie and the like minds is what's going to make that situation gel. You get anybody in there, any alcoholics, any drug addicts, any people that are on meds to help them control their minds, because if they don't have their meds, they go crazy. You bring that into the mix when they don't have their drugs, that's going to cause conflict. And people that go through withdrawals, they can be hard to be around because I mean they get bitter and they get mean. And you don't need people walking around with guns in their hands that's having an issue, especially if they know you got liquor or you got drugs put back for emergencies, and they may feel, well, I have the need now. Everybody's got to be a team, and everybody's got to be on an equal footing of skills and mindset. I mean, the mindset's going to be the main thing right there.
Well, you know,
But
when I
you
was
need
asking
people.
you about the mental health thing yesterday, when we was talking about it, I was thinking more along the lines of, it's like, okay, if you have this community together and everybody knows that they're in this community, that they have a particular job to do. Okay, so like in this movie, for instance, you had the special forces that was there. Yes, they were military and they were there for protection, but I also seen on there where the people that were there were also cross training to learn other jobs other than what you were there for. So
That's
that way
smart.
you were able to jump in and fill in for different spots.
Yep.
Now, what we was talking about on the mental health aspect was that being the fact that everybody in that community knew that if this took place, this is where you go, and this is what is going to take place from that point on. So that should be something that you have already strengthened yourself for the unknown. Is what I was getting at, because you know that when something like that transpires, there's a plethora of different things that could go on during that time. You know, you may have someone that has infiltrated your grounds, and you got to deal with that. You may have someone that has tried to, you know, tried to bulldoze their way through your defenses, and you got to deal with that. You may have someone that's in your actual ranks that may be on something other than what they're supposed to be there for. You know what I mean? There's something you're gonna have to deal with there. So it's like a whole mind strengthening that you should be able to do prior to anything
Right.
like this even
But
going
it's
on.
gaining that value, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Having
Exactly.
something, you know, like for instance, I look at like even a motorcycle club the same way in that aspect of like, hey, I may not be like for instance, I may not be that guy on the, you know, let's say I'm not super good at combat in like person, blah, blah, whatever, but I'm still with it, whatever. But it's always good to have those guys that are like good at computers, good with technology, good with like you can be it's not all this one thing like, oh, these guys need to be the enforcement. Everyone's enforcement. You know what I mean? Everyone's out here being the sergeant of arms. That's not how it goes. You have to be able to bring kind of like in a motorcycle club. This is my analogy. Each stick is valuable, each and is representative of one person. You put them all together, they become a club, right? So I look at that as each of us are putting our best at what we do. And that's, you know, of course, what you guys are talking about right now.
Exactly. So like if you're doing something like that, for instance, and Mike, you was 100% right about that. Though, so let's say, for instance, that you may have people here that's good at gardening, but you got people here that's good at building. You got one person over here that, you know, that may drive trucks. You got one over here that may be good at, you know, making water filtration systems or being able to use heavy equipment or stuff like that you may have on the compound to be able to use. So everybody has their own little niche that they put into it. And then once you get all those together, then that's how that whole circuit is able to move. You know what I mean? And they can move based upon what they know how to do, but also be able to cross train people to where, like, okay, let's say for instance, this person here gets sick and he passes away. Okay, well, he drove the end loader, so he passes away. Okay, now can't nobody drive the end loader? No, because you can cross train somebody else to know how to do that. You cross train the farmer, you cross train the person that's been handling the cattle. You've been able to move around to where everybody is self-sufficient to the point that they can fill in any job at any given point in time to be able to keep that whole little dynamic functioning the way they should be.
Yeah, because you could tell that the group was basically divided into the hardcore members, which were the true believers. And you could tell by their level of training and knowledge, it was far superior to the others. And then you have what they call the dependents. and that could be one of the nurses or one of the field hands or somebody else that was there because of being invited, being a friend, or being a relative, and they are going to be trained up to be on that level. But right now, they're not the hardcore core of the group. But in case combat happened, they knew exactly, and they divided up into 4 QRFs that the Green Beret guy set up for them, the Quick Reaction Force. He had hardcore members in the main 2, and then he had some dependent members that had stepped up to be in the second part of the QRFs. But the group was also divided into what I call probable versus possible. And by that, I mean the hardcore members were those individuals that would say, well, I know the caloric needs of a man would be X number a day, a boy or child would be X number, a woman would be X number, where a possible is someone who believes due to their faith or they believe in hope that we don't have to worry about covering the caloric needs. Let's invite more and more people in and just take care of everybody because God's going to take care of us, So it comes down to those that are dealing with probabilities and actual facts, and then those that deal with possibilities of what they feel can happen, which is going to require a certain amount of divine intervention and a little bit of luck. So I like the fact that the leader of the group, the millionaire guy, he had a balancing act that he had to maintain to keep control of the hardcore people and mix in the religious ones and others who had different beliefs, because some of them didn't even want to believe we were at war. They couldn't see that we were at war. I mean, once those bombs drop, you don't have to worry about the people in China or Russia anymore. They're going to be over there struggling to survive themselves. You're going to have to worry about the neighbors in your own neighborhood. And if they see you as being a threat, in which that case they're going to try to get rid of you, or 2, do you have resources that they want? And now they're going to mob up and come and take them from you. Or you're going to have to join one of the damn groups to have protection. But I like the dynamic that they set up and how the one leader was trying to maintain a balance, which would be hard to do, because even some of the spec op guys didn't like having to take orders from the farmers, but it was necessary for all of them to gain the knowledge and experience and be able to grow the amount of food that they was trying to grow. But the thing I didn't like in the movie was the dynamic where I saw that 3/4 of the group were men. There's only 1/4 that was women. Somewhere down the road, that would become a problem, because some of them single guys is going to want a woman, and all the women but one girl was already spoken for. So where do you get the extra women to supply the guys? I mean, they should have took that dynamic in, because that would come up further down the road, and that would be an issue that would cause problems between members of the group. But I'm gonna stop there and let you run the next clip.
Well, like with that, the ones that were the ones who really didn't actually bring family with them was a lot of the ones that were in this military group, and they called themselves the lone wolves, you know what I mean? Because they were by themselves. So it's kind of on that end, it's like, okay, you know what I mean, it's as the homestead owner, it's not my job to make sure that you got a broad. That's not my job. You know what I mean? Now you could have grabbed one, you know what I mean? Because right now everybody running around here, you know what I mean, struggling, trying to get somewhere. And you can be like, look, you come for you, get you some of these sandwiches. Come on over here with me. You know what I mean? Everything gonna be good. Just saying. You know what I mean? So that's not really my fault. If I'm the homeowner, that's not really my fault to make sure that you got what you need when it comes to that. You know what I mean? That's
right.
Your problem. That's what
absolutely
that's what you can provide. Yeah. I'm feeding you and I'm making sure that you're gonna be safe, and I'm making sure that you're gonna make it through this situation. Not my job to make sure you get your groove on. That's your job.
Okay, and let me add to that. Another thing I didn't like was so many of those trigger pullers showed up. I mean, these guys were in great shape, super professional way they handled their weapons. But what I didn't like was the way they what I was about to say here. They showed up with nobody. I mean, if I'm going to show up, don't I have a mother or father that I love that I'd want to save? Don't I have a girlfriend or wife? Don't I have a brother or sister that I want to save? I mean, what kind of mindset would I have if I show up to the party and I just come and save my own ass? I mean, what kind of person would do that? And I would have to look at you in a suspicious light, like there wasn't nobody that you wanted to bring. I mean, why'd you show up here by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of concerned me that these guys showed up like that. But you know, that's the way they did it in the movie.
You know what? I'm gonna ask you.
But,
I'm gonna ask you both a question. But I'm gonna ask Mike this question first because I wanna get your opinion on this. So, let's say that you have a community set up. Okay. Now, where you live at right now, you can make a great compound as to where you're at right
Yep.
now.
That's right here is the meeting point, and we have a muster list and everything.
Right. So let's say, for instance, that you have a community already set up. You know, mom, dad, sister, brother, you. I mean, y'all got a whole community set up along with a couple other friends that you know that you put everybody together. Y'all could function and be able to thrive.
Totally.
Now, you got it all set up. You got everything you need. You know how long, based on the supplies that you have and your growing seasons and everything else, you know, like, okay, we can be self-sufficient and sustain here for
X
a
amount of
year.
time. Sure.
You know what I mean? Now, let's say, for instance, that you have some good friends of yours that just happen to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they knew that you were doing this, but they didn't want no parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is going on. Here they come. Do you let them in?
Honestly, no.
Why?
The reason why I wouldn't, at that point, first of all, you didn't take it serious when I took it serious. And now you're in a jam, right? Well, that's your fucking fault. You know what I mean? That's sorry. Like, maybe I even offered, like you said in this hypothetical, if I offered it and like they didn't want to be participating or were like, fuck that shit, whatever. And the truth is, if they were coming, I planned everything out for the mustard list. You know what I mean? I did that logistically to be able to survive a year with, let's say, 8 people, whatever. I'm not going to have somebody at that point work me off of emotion. You know, right at that time, I have to be protective of not only me, but of the people I'm responsible for as well. They took it serious. We're serious about it. We're here, you know? So I don't know. That's the way I look at it.
What about you, Eric?
yeah, I've got a video on YouTube on my Aaron Olinger page called "I'm Coming to Your House When SHTF Happens."
Mm-hmm.
I really cover it exclusively, but I'm going to tell you this: when they come and you have to turn them away, whether they're family, friends, that's going to be the hardest thing that you've ever had
No
to
kidding.
do. And some of these people, they never call and check on you. They never see if you're okay. They never call and say, hey, if you want to go on vacation with us, we'll cover everything. They ain't gonna offer you that, but they want to
Right.
come to your house and be under your protection and have your money, letting them stay there and feeding them and clothing them and providing them with safety and security. So when you approach that, you got to be real careful. You don't want to make an enemy of them because they're going to come back mobbed up. And unless you're really to do them right there at the door, it doesn't pay to make an enemy of them. Now, you can go to your side door and put a little care basket out for them and tell them, hey, I put some at the side door. But you don't want to open that front door where anybody, including a sniper, can shoot you, because then they're going to enter the house and execute your family and take your stuff. And if you're kind enough to let them in, as soon as their guns outnumber your guns, they're going to take over your place. and they're going to see you and your people as being useless eaters, and they're going to put you out of your own place. I saw that happen when Puerto Rico had that big hurricane, and it's one guy, and I used to follow him on YouTube. He had 2 years worth of supplies put back. When all that flooding came through there and stuff, and he let all them people in and some of the elderly in his neighborhood, man, his food and stuff only lasted 3 months. And then as soon as it ran out, the people ran out. And now him and his families are damn refugees. They're out trying to loot and scoot because the 2 years of supplies only lasted 3 months with all them people coming in. And in one case, his neighbor got put out of their house by a bunch of people that they let in. They put them out into the flood water while they occupied the property because it's set up on a hill. So you take a real chance when you open that door, because anybody can shoot you. And if they take you out, they're coming in and your family, they'll mop your family up without no problem. So you don't want to expose yourself. You talk through them through the wall or through a loudspeaker or something. You don't even let them see you to where you can expose yourself to any danger whatsoever. Because first 2 times they're going to ask nicely. The third time and after that, they're going to come and take it from you.
Mm-hmm.
You let food, water, you let that becomes, you got a powerful need to drink, you got a powerful need to eat every day. And that's a high motivator in a situation like what we're talking about right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I seen like on this movie here, like you said, you had a lot of people that was gathered around the front. Some of them were friends. Some of them were just people that was in that area that mustered and went to that area. But they were people on the other side of the fence, though, were wide open, walking up to the fence, talking to people, stuff like that, which I thought at that point of the movie was, okay, you're really exposing yourself.
Mm-hmm. Way
Now,
too much.
Mind you, you may have military surrounding the place and they're on guard, but it's you can
Don't risk it.
You can pull a gun in 2.2 seconds.
Yep.
You know what I mean, and shoot somebody through a fence because okay, you're not gonna let me in. I keep asking you to let me in, you won't let me in. Okay, boo. Okay, so
Yep.
I can't go in. You ain't gonna be there either. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You got stuff that happens right there. So here's a scenario that was on there that I'm gonna play the video, and it's 2 parts. I'll play the video first, and I want you to tell me whether this man should have gotten into this facility and whether he should have been allowed to leave.
Mm.
Then I'm going to show you the reason why I'm asking you that question.
Okay.
So I'm gonna play the first one. I need to know the reason, okay, he's here. He's here. Would you have let him in? And would you have let him leave?
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So everybody pay attention to that because I want you to chime in. I'm gonna be looking at these. Would you have let him come in? Would you have let him leave?
Yeah. Oh, hell no. Nah, he getting smoked.
Okay. Why?
He getting smoked because first of all, how the hell did you get in here in the first place?
Well, they let him in. They let him
okay,
in.
they let him in. Okay, fair enough. But in that moment, it just looked like the dude was gonna blackmail him. You know what I mean? And we're in like at that time, you're in type of survival. Dude, listen, man. No one's paying shit for groceries. No one's no one's doing shit, man. Like, what do you expect that the mortgage is gonna be paid this month? You know what I mean? No, it's not happening. It's all cap. And you're just gonna come back and use that shit against me later.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Eric?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. The guy that he told him to escort him to the gate, that's the guy that let him in.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably shouldn't say this, but in a later episode, he spies for that damn zoning commissioner. But he shows up and demands taxes be paid. Now, under COG, continuity of government and nuclear war, the IRS will go around and will collect taxes, and they will be escorted by military. And if you can't pay, they'll be confiscating stuff. And man, that's a hard position to be in. It's one thing to fight an enemy that you know is an enemy, but you don't ever want to be in a position to have to fight your own government. You know what I'm saying? Now, during that time period, you don't know who's legit and who's not. I mean,
Right.
that guy's probably just as hungry, and his family and children or grandchildren are probably just as hungry as everybody else.
Well, why
And
did the
he
kid
comes
show
there
up?
because, yeah, because he heard about you, and he's
Mhm.
coming there, and he flashes some credentials at the gate. And that one guy that's the millionaire's assistant, the geeky guy, he lets him in and then takes him and lets him see their inner network of all the weapons and everything that they've got. Now, that guy bought all that stuff legally. He bought all the food legally. When people were out partying and stuff, this guy was sacrificing. He was staying home and was acquiring stuff to put on the property so that when people would come there as a sanctuary, everything would be fully equipped. All you got to do is show up with what you got on your back. That's the reason why the bug out bags was all people needed, because everything else was going to be there at the rally point waiting on you once you got there. You just had to have enough material to get you to from point A to point B. And then this guy comes sniffing around. I mean, that's a hard question that people are going to have to search their own souls, whether they let a clown like that leave, because he's definitely going to come back mobbed up. And he already threatened you with a SWAT team. So when he comes back and he wants all the guns and he wants all the food, you may have a fight on your hands. But if you don't let him leave, you may not have to fight at all. That's going to be a hard decision that people are going to have to make. And that becomes a moral decision. I mean, the guy was just a zoning commissioner. He wasn't even the governor or the mayor, a damn zoning commissioner. And he's trying to exercise authority.
Right.
And can I read something to you real quick?
Go ahead.
I want everybody to see this book that I have here. Okay. Now this book is wrote by Joe Lambert. He's a ex-Navy SEAL. He has a part in here where he talks about FEMA. And I'm going to read just one paragraph. When FEMA knocks at your door, do not give the impression that you are a prepper. When they ask what you need, tell them you need everything they can provide you. This is where you should put on your best acting skills to work. The goal is to make them think you are just as unprepared and desperate as your neighbors. Now, if you don't do that, it says if you look like a victim, FEMA will treat you like a victim. But but if you don't, chances are they're going to raid you. They're going to come in there and seize stuff. So this is coming from somebody that's trained in different situations of how to handle it. And he's already telling you, you got to look as dirty and as broke, but anyone observing that compound would see that this is a self-sustaining community. Ain't nobody missing no meals here. So there's no way that they could have played the poverty person. There's just no way. Anyone watching with a pair of binoculars can see they got it going on over there. I mean, this place is a prime turkey. We need to hit that and get all
it's
those
kingpin.
resources.
Mhm.
But when you got all those trigger pullers in there willing to light you up, that oyster is gonna be a hard nut to crack. So knowing that you got guys like him, you don't know if a police group that comes up to you, say 12 officers come up and they say, well, we have to confiscate your radio equipment or your guns or your water and food for fair and equitable dispersion among people who don't have anything. You don't know if they're a legit city-backed or government-backed group, or if they're a rogue element that's just going to take your shit and go feed their family. Even if National Guard shows up, are they legit or are they a rogue element? In that movie, Texas and California, they went rogue. They seized all military assets within their states and they broke off. They weren't taking orders from the federal government. They doing their own thing. So who's legit and who's a rogue element? And that's another hard decision that you're going to have to make on the spot. And it's best to prepare your mind what you're going to do in advance than to be trying to guess it out at the last second.
Okay.
But I'm gonna stop there right now.
Okay. So both of you said, if I heard you correctly, that number one, he shouldn't have came in, shouldn't have got in. Number
Mhm.
two, he should not have been able to leave. Correct?
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay. Now let me show you.
I can't say don't leave, but I know what would be brought in the event that they let him leave, and I would have to tell everybody, hey, this is what's going to happen. What do you want to do? I don't want that to be my decision alone. I'll be
Well,
like,
see, my thing on
this
that
is
is that number one, you know what I mean? I wouldn't give a damn if you're tax collector, the mayor.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if you're Bill Clinton. He ain't
Right.
coming up in this bitch. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now being the fact that that young boy let him in, okay? First thing that's gonna happen is just like I said, well, what are you doing in here? You know what I mean? I'm gonna find out everything that's going on, and I'm gonna show him out. I'm gonna let the guy who brought him in show him out. And when you open the gate and you let him out, you're gonna take your ass too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, that's the first thing. The second option would be, okay, well, since you here and you in my room and you looking at everything I got, and I know you sitting here plotting,
Yeah, no kidding.
but you sitting here looking at everything I got. So who all know you came here?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I came by myself. Good.
Bing.
Because you're gonna stay here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh no, he
Now,
ain't even
I
staying.
ain't saying you about to move around. No, you ain't about to move around. Like you ain't about to be like a guest.
Yeah,
But you
you
ain't
got
leaving.
handcuffs and shit.
Right. Like you ain't about to lead to tell somebody what I got up in here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm meaning. I'm saying it without saying it.
Right.
Okay?
Totally.
Okay, so I'm gonna play this one right here to show you the reason why you should not have let his ass up out of there.
Mm.
Arrest that man, Lieutenant. This is an illegal gathering.
Hold on. Hey. It's all right, guys. It's okay. Everyone stay calm.
We're in position, over.
Yeah. Hell no. I saw that coming.
Mm-hmm. Right. So they come right back in there to do what? Take your shit.
Raid your shit. Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Say bye-bye and they'll call it taxes.
Exactly. So you go, okay, then he come in as his little tax informant, I mean, whatever the fuck. That ain't even a real
little
job for real.
clipboard.
Right. That ain't even a real job for real. But, you know, it is said, though, that if something like that actually took place, that if that FEMA could, they actually do have the right to come in and take your stuff and be able to distribute it to other people.
Yep.
You know, so that's where, you know, acting like you don't have anything plays key.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like,
and you're getting extra
like that,
resources too, you know,
right,
on top of it.
right. A situation like that where you got this big homestead and it's guarded and it's fenced in or whatever, they know you got something. So they're gonna be over there worried about what this man got over here, as opposed to what you got sitting over here in your little spot. They ain't really paying attention to you because they focused over here. You know what I mean? So even though he had it the way he had it set up, you still made yourself a mark. You know what I mean? Because they knew people was going there. They knew that you had this stuff set up there. And then you just let this man come out to confirm, yeah, he got everything in there. He got food, he got weapons, he got water, he got an orchard, he got this, he got this.
Money, got guns,
you know what I mean?
got everything.
Right. So all this stuff that he done built up and put aside and had waiting, we're gonna go right up in there and we're gonna load it all up in these trucks. And we're going to take what we want to take out of it. And then whatever's left, then we'll give to whoever else that needs something. But we're going to make sure we got ours first, because, you know, they're never going to just take something just to turn around and give it to a perfect stranger. They're going to make sure they take care of themselves and whoever they know first. And then whoever else just straggling around will get what's
give them
left
crumbs.
over. Right.
Yeah,
Right. They'll get what's left over. So, you know, it's never going to be that way. But, overall,
let me. Okay,
go ahead, man.
Okay, let me add. What they didn't show on that film clip, which came to it, was the gunfight that ensued, and the landowner ended up shot by that Weasel city zoning guy shot him on the very first shot. And the special forces guys had them in an L-shaped, what I call an L-shaped ambush or L-shaped kill zone. The front gate was the bottom of the L, and they had a quick reaction force standing right there, full body armor, aiming right at them. And then off to the side was a quick reaction force number 2 that was behind a belt-fed machine gun that had 3 or 4 shooters over there. So they would have been firing from 2 different angles. So whether you got behind the car or got alongside the car, somebody was going to have a clear shot at you because there was nowhere for you to hide in that kill zone. And when the special forces commander opened up with that belt-fed machine gun, he purposely shot over their heads. He would have wiped them out with just that gun alone. But when the commander of the SWAT realized they wasn't taking casualties, he told all these men to stop shooting and lower their weapons. And then he hurried up and got that zoning guy, and they got the hell up out of there. But I would have shot that guy just for GP at that point upon leaving, because it don't end there. This guy comes back again, and in the series, he comes back. He's got his own trigger pullers, and he's got that inside spy that let him in the first time that gives him the inventory that he wants. The only thing he can't get is the number of bullets. And bullets become a premium thing because you can't go to the store and buy them no more. If you can reload ammunition and you got people that know how to make bullets, that's a super skill to have in that time period. It's
Totally.
like the one-eyed person in the land of the blind. I mean, you're the king of the hill if you can manufacture ammunition. But go ahead, Bishop. I'm gonna stop there for right now.
No, actually, I was going to ask because I wanted to get like, okay, so we all done watched this. We done went through all this stuff. We done talked about all the different scenarios and circumstances, the reason why. So, as a review of this movie, now, mind you, this is just the first one. You know, the series is coming right out for that. Actually, I think with that particular studio, you can go online and actually go in as like a subscriber and be able to watch all the other series. I don't know where else it's going to. Um, another stream that is going to or whatever. I'm not quite sure for that. But overall, what did you think of the movie? If you rated it 1 to 10, 10 being a great movie, 1 being and your reason why, what would you say?
Okay, I gave it a 9. I would have gave it a 10 because I like the fact that everything was original. They didn't plagiarize or copy nobody else's material. Even there were no big name stars in it. You could tell that this is a good ground group type putting something together. And they put a great product out there, and it's got a lot of conflicts that we didn't even cover yet that dealt with emotionals of people trying to cooperate and work with each other. I mean, if they wanted to push the envelope to the absolute max, most people do not have the money to go to a compound outside the city. They would have did a in the city survival where a neighborhood came together and set up a bunch of cars to form a wall, or got a truck driver to bring in some containers and build a wall around the city block and set up a community right there. And because the city is going to be, it's going to be a slugfest. I mean, it would be an endless fight. To get outside the city would give you a break, but man, inside the city would be an endless fight. So if you wanted to push the envelope, show me people sheltering in place within the city because they don't have the money to go outside the city. Then the fact that they turned it into a series, which I think is a great marketing thing. The movie would be the pilot, and they could probably get multiple seasons out of this. I mean, they could grow to be as big as The Walking Dead, as far as what I can see happening here. I mean, what I got from it, and I'm kind of skipping all the way to the end, because after the guy got shot, the wife took over, and she basically let all the people in at the gate because she felt like we should be helping people. We shouldn't be holding people out and shooting people. So she let them all in. Luckily for her, because of her faith and her believing that God would provide a way, some of those people came in with skills that helped boost the food production, which made it possible for them to take care of all those people that came through that gate. Now there's a thing, it's called Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not in all your understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. That was the moral that I got from that movie, because she prayed and prayed, and then one day she got up and she just said, I'm filled with love. I'm gonna open the gate. My God is bigger than the math. The math says that we can only handle what we got here. We can't take on no more. She went open the gate and let them in, and some of them came in with great ideals, but they hadn't faced crop failure yet. They hadn't faced the neighbors stealing their food yet. They haven't faced pestilence or fungus attacking and killing their crops, creating food shortages. They haven't faced that yet. So right now they're maxed out, letting all them people in. So we'll see what the series brings. But go ahead, Bishop. I'm gonna stop there for right now.
Well,
No,
for
actually,
me,
Mike's
by the
there.
way, because for me, I didn't even watch the movie yet, and I really like. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 for anticipation. Now, it's something that I definitely want to watch, and I'm going to watch. It was kind of unfortunate, bad timing for me to try to fit in a movie. I tried to, but unfortunately, then I went on YouTube and tried to look up a few clips and just to try to understand. But this was fantastic. This is definitely interesting to me. I'll be watching it.
I think I give it a 9 too. I think it put out a couple different things. Not just the fact of having a community and being able to put that together and thrive, but it also shows that something like this can easily happen at a drop of a hat, and you have no idea. Think about it. This happened, 10 to 15 miles out in the Pacific. Who would have knew? Who would have knew that this is what was going on? You have no idea. And it happened on the East Coast and the West Coast at the same time. So who knew that this could have even took place? Now, here recently we didn't had they've been talking about the dirty bomb thing. They was talking about the radiation that had disappeared from the cargo ships over in Newark. You got the drones, and ain't nobody really done told the actual truth about what these drones are for or whatever. They still lying about that. You have a report the other day that said that there was over 1,500 Al Qaeda members that was actually in the United States right now that they know about. Right. You just had an instance that went on in New Orleans that they're saying that may be, some terrorist organization that may have been a part of that. It's a lot of things that's going on. So, where a couple years ago, this particular movie would have been more of a conspiracy theory type movie. Now
it looks real.
Of a movie like, okay, this could really take place. Right. This could really take place at any given time, and you not know anything about it, because by the time you realize it didn't happen, it's already done took place. So makes you go back and you watch this movie and like, okay, I see what's going on here. Maybe I do need to be a little proactive here. Maybe I do need to, I'm not saying that I got to go and spend $1 million on stuff, but I'm saying may want to get certain things in order just in case.
And the correct mindset too, to work on that mindset too.
Exactly. Because, like I said, with the different stuff that's going on right now, and you got threats from all these other countries coming in left and right. Like every other day, you got somebody throwing a threat. You know what I mean? Whether it's Putin or it's China, or you got old fat ass in North Korea. Somebody's always throwing some kind of little threat here and there. You know what I mean? Eventually, Somebody's going to stop, you know, selling these wolf tickets and actually do something. You know what I mean? And at that point, it's not a if situation, but a when situation. And when that takes place, are you ready to handle the ramifications that's going to go on from somebody else's stupidity? You know what I mean? It's kind of like we're sitting ducks here, especially when you look and you see all these other countries. Their governments is actually telling them to get stuff in order. They've been telling them for months
Yeah,
to get
that's
stuff
real.
in order. But nobody, you've seen not one report come across telling you to get your shit together. The only thing
Not
that
here.
you've heard of is like, okay, you can go on the FEMA website and you can download a 200-page fucking book that
That no
basically
one's gonna
tell you,
read.
right, that you're not going to read in the first place. You're not going to download it. But to sum it all up, is basically telling you if shit hit the fan, good fucking luck. And, you know, hopefully you got some shit together, because if not, we're not coming. It's basically all you're going to get. You know what I mean? So I just summed up 200 pages in 2 sentences. Get your shit together or you're going to die. That's
No
it.
kidding. Yep.
6 words. That's it. You know what I mean? So this movie, like I said, it kind of puts you in the thinking of, okay, this could really take place. You know what I mean? This is how people really going to act.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is maybe something that I need to do, not just for myself, but for my family, for my kids. You know what I mean? If I don't have kids, I got a mother and a father. I got a grandmother. I got a grandfather. You know what I mean? It's other people in this neighborhood that I know that I can put together and we can be able to do this. You know what I mean? It's not like this big collective that you got to do. It just has to be a meeting of the minds. And if you can put it together to be like, okay, if such and such take place, this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? We're going to meet at this location. We're going to be at this place. This is going to be our job. This is what we're going to practice doing. You know, us as a family, we're going to, you know, have a couple little drills so that way we can get the kids inoculated as to what we're doing. If something goes on, this is what you need to do. You know what I mean? Not just a last ditch effort, you know what I mean? And not no fear mongering or anything like that.
Sure.
This is just something, this is strategic. This is something that we need to do. And we need to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So if something does happen, you don't panic. This is what you do. You know what I mean? You don't let everybody else realize that, okay, you know, you're gonna do X, Y, Z. You already know, you got it set in your mind. This is how we're gonna do it. This is how we're gonna play it out. This is the objective. This is how we're gonna get it. This is how we're gonna adapt to it. And this is how we're gonna overcome from it.
Mm.
So that's what I got out of this. But like I said, we hitting 1.5 on this, so we're gonna dive down on it. Like I said, if you haven't watched this movie, go on there and watch it. They also have a giveaway dealing with this movie. If you go on YouTube and type in the Homestead, there's a little 8-minute clip on it. On the bottom of it is some information. You know, when you scroll and get the information from the bottom of it, there's a link there. If you hit that link and buy your ticket to go, it'll have your zip code or whatever to tell you whatever theaters that's offering the movie at that point. You can get your tickets. If you get the ticket, it will register you in this contest. So I think it's the 16th of January, they're doing this contest. You can actually win a fully stocked homestead, a vehicle, and 1 Bitcoin.
Oh shit.
It goes along with this contest. You know what I mean? So I ain't never heard of a contest that's going to give you a fully stocked homestead with a vehicle and a Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're talking like 500 grand.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's a lot that's just there. So, like I said, if you go on there, type in the homestead on YouTube, scroll down to the information part of it, go on that link, register. I mean, you just may win. I mean, and I just happen to go on there and see it. So it's not really something that they've been like promoting all over the place, but I seen it on there. And of course I went on there and dropped my little registration because you know what I mean? If I win, that's just what it's going to be. That's where I'm moving to. That's just what it is. But, like I said, every week, thank each and every one of you for coming out. Like, follow, share, subscribe, hit the button on your way out, leave a comment, something. You know what I mean? Share it with your people, share it with your neighbors, share it with somebody at work. You know what I mean? Let them watch this video just like any of the other ones, because we're just putting out this information. Now, mind you, we did our review on this movie, but we also threw a lot of factual information on this as well to build, to kind of bring these two together so that you can understand that this is really not a game for real. You know, I mean, this is something that you really need to take hold of and actually pay attention to, because this could very, 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 very well happen within the next 15 minutes. It can really happen that way. But like I said, thank you all. Also, with the store that we have, go on, check it out. You can go on www.thediamondeffectpodcast.com. Go on there, check out what we got there. Like I said, if you go on and type in the Diamond Effect, you get a 10% discount, military discount. If you go on as a subscriber, you'll get a better discount. Also, you get others merchandise and stuff like that wouldn't normally be on there, that you ain't gonna normally see. And then we're gonna also start adding other clips and stuff like that give out more information. A lot of stuff that we can't talk about on YouTube, we're gonna be able to put on there to give you more information, more insight to a wide variety of stuff that we talk about. So, like I said, once again, thank you all, and I'll see you in 7 days. Go ahead, Aaron.
Okay, to me, the bottom line, I'm going to reiterate something I said earlier. Any attack that takes down the U.S. power grid for a year to 2 years, your lives are going to change. None of our lives are going to be the same. And survival is not something that you can take for granted, that I'm going to automatically make it. And it's not something that someone can give to you as a gift by you coming and mob up with us and you're going to be safe. You don't know that. You're going to earn your way one day at a time, and you're going to have skill sets, experience, knowledge that you can share. And the type of people you group up with, if they have enough skills to contribute to the table, everyone working together as a team, because if the team works, the dream works. That's the bottom line here. If everybody's working together as a team, you stand a chance of making it through the situation. You go out there and try to be Rambo or Lone Wolf McQuaid or something, you're not going to last no length of time at all. So your knowledge, skills, and the community that you build is going to be key to getting you through that situation. I'll stop there.
Well, I got to admit, for a movie review, this was very, very educational. And I always got to thank you two gentlemen for bringing the heat, as always. Everybody in the chat, man, Happy New Year to everybody. And hopefully that you guys enjoy and enjoy the content we're putting out here. This is a lot of, you can see these, especially these two, they go into like note mode where they're taking out notes and notepads and shit. Like they're serious about this. So listen, man, the one thing that I ask you guys to do is hit that like button on the way out. It's the number one metric of all of YouTube, helps out the show immensely. Also, check us out on the Diamond Effect Facebook page. We have a Facebook page over there, a group. Go check that out, as well as the Diamond Effect podcast.com. Go check that out and go explore the site. It just got launched, at 8 p.m., right when we started, basically. So, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys in 7 days. Much love, honor, and respect to everybody. And for everyone on my side, we're going to be rating our friend Grid One Motorsports. Go ahead and say hi to him and let him know that we're rating him. And we'll see you guys in 7 days. Peace.
Are you ready?